Hey everybody, it's Melissa and we're talking about the best fragrances to rock this spring. And I got a good mixture in this list. We've got cheapies and we also got expensive fragrances, designer, niche, and as always, the discount link for every single one of these fragrances in the comment section below in case you guys want to support the channel. But of course, buy where you're comfortable, all right? So the very first fragrance here is Blue Agave by Precious Liquid. And this just reminds me of being by water. So if you're somebody that wants to go to the beach, if you are someone that enjoys just like going shirtless, you're going to these beaches, you're going to lakes, you're on a boat, just having the time of your life, and you want a fun fragrance that smells better the more you sweat in it, Blue Agave is so perfect. And for some reason, this fragrance is so simple and just so sexy at the same time. Even I myself did a couple sprays of this fragrance. I mixed it with Elysium and it just smelled so good. Now, if you're somebody that maybe doesn't live by water, but you like to work out and you want that nice gym fragrance, then this is also amazing. I just find that it smells better the more you sweat in it. So this is just really refreshing, very simple, smells like agave. It's an aquatic sort of fragrance that is just super mass appealing. Women in particular just love the smell of this one right here. And for me, it's not your typical citrusy, fresh and clean fragrance. And it's also not your typical ambroxan heavy scent that you get with a lot of masculine fragrances in modern times, you know? So it's still something that is not too daring, but it smells just a little bit more different than what you're typically going to be surrounded by if anybody around you is wearing fragrances to begin with. But a fantastic fragrance. In fact, I remember I had a guy actually come and smell fragrances in my collection because he wanted to get his new signature scent. I put him onto YSL's Y and he liked it, but he's like, it's getting kind of basic on me right now. And his girlfriend was with him. The very first fragrance I showed him was Blue Agave. Instantly, he fell in love with it. He had his girlfriend smell it, and she was like, oh, that smells so good. So that night, he bought it for my collection. So this is a new bottle of Blue Agave, but just super mass appealing. All right, the next fragrance I'm gonna mention is Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. I mean, just look at the dent that I have in this bottle already. It's just so good. All right, this is something though that's a gamble. Some people can smell it, some people can't smell it, some people smell good with it, other people don't smell that good with it. But I decided to put it on this list because if this does smell good on you, it becomes such a game changer because not only does it enhance other fragrances that you layer it with, it helps with the longevity and it helps it linger, but by itself, it just has this mysterious, transparent quality to it that you don't find in your average fragrance. It doesn't really smell like you're wearing something, but to other people, it just becomes like this addictive scent. To me, on me, it smells more like this clean laundry fragrance. On other people that have commented on my videos before, they get more of this cedar vibe. Some people get pencil shavings. Some people don't get a good smell at all, but for the most part, if this fragrance works on you, it's just like a magical scent. And by the way, performance here is amazing. It does push past 8 hours, especially if you're active. All right, this is one of the fragrances that the more active you are, the more it starts to show through. So let's say you're working at your desk job 9 to 5, right? And then afterwards, you're gonna go work out and you throw on Molecule 01 before you leave the house, like before you go to work. You're not gonna smell it that much during that 9 to 5, but the second you start working out, you're gonna be like, oh, there it is, So it knows how to adapt based on the kind of situation you're in, which is why I consider this a smart fragrance. All right, next up, we got a cheapie, and it's called Legend Spirit by Mont Blanc. And this is my favorite Mont Blanc fragrance that I've tried out of maybe the 4 or 5. It's just a simple deodorant scent. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's what you need in your collection, all right? You don't need to spend $300, $400 on a fragrance. You can just get something that's $30, $35, around that range. It might be more than that. Now, I remember buying this for about 30-ish something dollars, but I won't be surprised if it went up in price. But you just have that one scent that's very versatile. You can wear it to the gym. You can wear it when you're going to work. You can wear it to school. You can wear it on a date if you're going on a hike, going on a picnic, whatever the case is, it will just smell nice. Now, I will say that it does have a little bit of a sweetness to it, just a touch of sweetness, because I wouldn't categorize this as a sweet fragrance, all right? It's not something like Burberry Hero, but it's just clean deodorant-like, and for some reason, very addictive, y'all. And I know that the description of fresh, clean deodorant doesn't sound that enticing, but I just remember the very first time I smelled this fragrance, when I tried 27 other masculine scents and feminine scents, this was my favorite. My nose could not stop wanting to come back to it. And it was just like, it's like, man, I have to get my hands on that. And it was the cheapest fragrance out of those near 30 that I tried that day. So in terms of performance, a bit lackluster, maybe around 3 to 5 noticeable hours. I would say even 5 is stretching it. It definitely does linger at that 5-hour mark. You could smell it if you put your nose to the area that you applied it, but it's no longer projecting. So just keep that in mind, all right? The next fragrance is another Mont Blanc, and this one is called Star Walker. So I was actually gifted this fragrance from one of my followers, and it's a good scent. Okay, this isn't my personal favorite, but it's on this list because it's an affordable springtime fragrance, especially for you teens out there, right? Again, I know people talk about niche fragrances, and if you're trying to be in your bag, then get this niche fragrance and you have to try to, buy something expensive to kind of show your status. Don't buy into any of that, all right? So when you have a fragrance like Star Walker by Mont Blanc, it'll do exactly what you need it to do, all right? It has that typical cologne-like smell, but what's interesting about this is it has almost this bamboo sort of scent in the opening. And if you've ever been to, I'm gonna spray this just a little bit right here. If you've ever been to a massage parlor, or any sort of spa, and they have like that relaxing Zen music, and there's a sort of smell in there that just kind of calms you down, right? The second you enter that parlor, you're like, why do I feel zened out right now, right? There's that smell of bamboo. That's what you get initially with this fragrance. And then as it dries down, more of that cologne, that typical cologne scent that you're so used to smelling will start to pop off. And to me, that's when I kind of get a bit bored of this fragrance, I'm not gonna lie, is the dry down is just a bit lackluster. But again, for a fragrance that isn't that expensive, it just hits all the minimum requirements. But I do like that bamboo note in the opening. I wish that they had that going a bit longer, because right now, right now it smells good. Y'all, I like the way that this smells initially. I just wish that it lasted longer. So, if you want to try overspraying it, give it a shot, all right? We got another cheapie here called Versace the Dreamer, and this was my go-to fragrance 2 summers ago. I know this is a springtime video, but this fragrance will work in either season, as long as it's warm outside. Now, this, I believe, is about... I found it for, you can find it for $18, $20, $22. This was also given to me by a follower, and he told me that this was his signature scent. He's like, I want to see what you think about it, and I like it. I've heard that this is a polarizing scent, and I don't really see why. Maybe it's more with the masculine nose, because all the women that I've been around that have smelled this on me, that have actually been in my DMs talking about this fragrance on another person, they've liked it. It's not something that people are super in love with, but definitely a likable fragrance. Now, to me, this kind of goes in a lemony, citrusy direction on my skin. Now, I don't believe the note breakdown even shows lemon listed here, but it's just a bit of a sharper, fresh and clean fragrance. It's a cheapie. It has a bit of that synthetic touch to it, which might be a reason why people dog on it. But, again, for the price of what it is, pretty solid fragrance. This is something that I would wear when I was working in the summertime, and then afterwards I would go to the beach, so this is the smell that would start my morning after I just, I brush my teeth, after I eat breakfast, and then it's time to do what I need to do. I throw on Versace the Dreamer, and all of a sudden I'm in the zone. So I have a very special place in my heart for this fragrance, and I love that it's affordable. All right, the next one is an Terence Hughes fragrance. This is called Voice Eternal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But this is more of a green fragrance. Now, if you guys are subscribed to my channel, you know that I'm not really the biggest fan of green scents. Let's take Green Leaf by Parfums de Marly. I'm not really with it. Sometimes with green fragrances, they're just a bit too mature for my liking. They kind of give me grandpa vibes, you know? But with this scent here, I respect it. I like it. You know, this one actually had pretty good performance. I remember, I think I got a noticeable 7 hours with this scent. And after that 7 hours, it didn't just fall off. It just remained closer to my scent bubble. So I got really good performance with this, both on skin and on clothes. And that's all I'll say, is it's a very high quality green fragrance. It's just springtime in a bottle, essentially. So if you're somebody that likes the green stuff, then this fragrance will do for you. All right. The next scent that I got here is Creed Aventis Cologne. Emphasis on the cologne. I say that in every single video because whenever people hear Aventis, they ignore the next word after that. They always associate it with the original, even though I'm showing the cologne bottle, all right? But this is a fresh pineapple scent. Whether you think that that smell is overdone and overrated at this point is, you know, everyone's opinion is valid. But to me, I mean, I wore this a couple days ago. It's just really good. Like, women in general love this scent because it's simple. It doesn't have that smoky note that the original Aventis has. That is what I believe that more men are drawn to. They love the complexity of that smoky note with that typical fresh and clean scent because, you know, it adds, there's a really good balance of it, right? Whereas more women, when they've smelled this, they just love that it's not trying to be complex. It's a straightforward, fresh and clean fragrance that just has that very likable, very popular, you know, pineapple DNA. There's a reason why that fresh pineapple DNA just like rose to superstardom in terms of fragrance notes because they found out that, oh shit, this is something that drives people wild. I am telling you, like, this is such a good fragrance to the feminine nose. If you're looking for something that's a fantastic compliment getter in that regard, if that's something that's important to you and Creed is a house that you enjoy, I would recommend looking into this fragrance. Of course, whether or not it's worth it is up to you. Some people have, you know, a price range of under $50, so this will definitely not be worth it to you. Whereas other people could care less if a fragrance is $300, $400. All right, so gauge it for yourself. You can get a sample of it if you want to, but I much rather prefer Aventis Cologne over the original Aventis. And I've done several videos on that. The next fragrance I'm going to mention is Gentle Fluidity Silver by MFK. Now, if you're somebody that works an office job and you're looking for that springtime fragrance that gives boss vibes, then this one right here. This, it's just cool. Like, this is a cool fragrance. If you've ever played that game Mortal Kombat and you know who Sub-Zero is, like, if he worked in an office corporate sort of job, then he would probably rock a fragrance like Gentle Fluidity Silver. That's the type of cool it is. It doesn't smell like ice. I can't even tell you exactly what it smells like. This is more of a vibe. You know, it's cool, it's dominant, it's present, but it's not cocky. All right, it's not something that needs to be oversprayed. It's not something that needs to let everybody know that it's present, but it definitely does linger. And it's something that it is strong, but it's not trying to overdo it where everyone's like, oh, I have a headache, like this is just too much. You know, I have worn this fragrance in the springtime, and that is when I find that it shines the best. Like the absolute best. I remember that my scent trail, I went to a party with it actually, and my scent trail of this fragrance was lingering in the hallways, and people were asking me what I was wearing because it doesn't smell generic. All right, it is something, it's a high quality niche fragrance, and it's a unique scent, and at the same time, it's just something that people don't know. In this house, people know Baccarat Rouge, right? That's the most popular one, the 540. In terms of the general public, they don't know Gentle Fluidity Silver. The house MFK has gotten popular, but this scent is still underground. Now, in the fragrance world, like every reviewer is probably going to know what this fragrance is, but again, to the masses, still very slept on, still a hidden gem, you know? So if you want that unique scent that, you know, when you're wearing a white button-down shirt, you're going to work, you're looking great, you want to smell fantastic, and you also want that scent that's gonna, you know, separate you from that typical shower gel cologne scent that a bunch of other dudes will be rocking, then Gentle Fluidity Silver, bomb. Really, really good. All right, the next fragrance here is Ocean Noir by Michael Malone. And this is a good scent. I am not in love with it, but it also does the job. Actually, I'm not gonna say that it just does the job, because it is like, the more that you spray this, the more that you start to like it. You know, it's a scent that it's undeniable, the mass appeal that it has. I remember the very first time I smelled this was actually my sister's boyfriend's sister bought it because she was looking for a fresh and clean fragrance. She didn't care if it was masculine or feminine. So she went to a perfume shop and she came across this one. And instantly she's like, oh, this is nice. You know, and then she had me try it a couple days later, tested it on my skin. And again, an aquatic fragrance, nothing complicated about it. You know, it's just very straightforward and it smells good. That's it. So if you want an oceany, fresh, clean scent, maybe if you're a surfer, then Ocean Noir would fit you down to a T. This is a nice scent that you can wear as your signature fragrance. Even, hell, wear this even when it's cold outside if you want to. Just know that performance won't be at its best, but it does have versatility. It's a fun fragrance, but if you were to wear it to a date, or if you were looking for a dumb reach fragrance to have in your collection, then it's gonna check all those boxes for you. Now, in terms of performance, I got a noticeable 5-ish hours with this fragrance on skin. So I do know it lasts longer on clothes. So if you want to know how to apply a fragrance, I have a lot of videos on that on this channel. You can just search it up if you guys want to. All right, next up, we got, I think the only Tom Ford on this list. Yeah, we got Oud Wood. All right, so Oud Wood is a part of Tom Ford's private blend collection, and it's my favorite Tom Ford fragrance of all time. I've tried a lot of things from Tom Ford, from the private blend to the standard designer, and this has yet to be dethroned. Now, yeah, it doesn't smell like oud. All right, oud is a very challenging note, very polarizing. The more you get into fragrances, typically the more people start to enjoy oud, but this is just a nice woody scent. Just smells like fresh blended wood. And I know people consider this a nighttime, date night fragrance. They say use it in the fall. But to me, I've worn this actually in the summertime. And I remember I got 3 compliments that day. 2 of them came from when I went to Target. I was on a Target run, wore a white t-shirt. There was a group of like maybe 3-4 girls I walked by that complimented me on this scent. And it is a unique DNA. You have to remember that in the fragrance world, they're not going to call this unique. You're probably going to look at this video, you look it up on YouTube, and you're going to have people calling it basic, overrated, boring, it's time for a change. They're going to see things like that, right? Because in the fragrance community, it moves fast. So when something is popular, like, okay, like the star fizzles out, fades into the background. But I will still tell you this is very relevant to the general public. People love it. Whenever I wear this fragrance, I get asked about it when people, of course, are in close proximity when I give them a hug, all right? Because it's a fairly intimate scent. But that day in the summertime, I did overspray this fragrance. I think I went with over 10, 15 sprays. So typically people aren't going to do that many sprays of this scent. But I knew I was going to be outdoors. I wasn't going to be surrounded by people inside where I'm going to choke out the room. It wasn't that type of situation. But Oud Wood is, like, to me, a versatile, unique fragrance. You can wear it to date nights, right? But it also has a different layer to it when you wear it when your body starts to heat up. It doesn't become cloying, it doesn't become sweet, but it's a nice, sexy, woody fragrance. The feminine nose loves this scent right here. All right, next up, we've got Salt and Pepper by Precious Liquid. You could see the dent that I've made in this bottle as well. This one right here is one of my secret weapons, well, maybe a top 3 for me personally. I've said it in so many of my videos before, but this is just the scent that I wear whenever I'm going to a party or if I'm even just running errands, right? It's a scent that when I wear it and I'm hanging out with people, they always ask me what I'm wearing and they compliment it. People tend to whip out their phones and write down the name of the fragrance because it's something they haven't smelled before, but it has the mass appeal. And I've made a video on that before. Maybe I'll do an updated video with that on fragrances people don't know about, but they love, right? So this is gonna probably be shat on in the fragrance community. It can be deemed as basic because it's mass appealing, right? It's not a challenging fragrance. It's just it's like a high quality niche scent that when you wear it around friends, around people that aren't into fragrances, they go apeshit over it. It's just one of those scents that it's not going to impress the internet, all right? It's not going to impress the fragrance gurus, but it is going to impress the people that you're actually going to be around, all right? So this scent right here is just, even when I'm wearing it by myself and I smell it and the wind is blowing, I'm like, this is a good scent. Now, it smells more peppery than salty, and there's ambroxan as well. People have asked if it smells like Dior Sauvage, and the answer is no. And another example I have of that, because in the early stages of wearing this fragrance, people would say, it has pepper, it has ambroxan, that has to be like a niche version of Dior Sauvage. But when I have worn this, again, in the earlier stages, around a lot of women, and these women have smelled Sauvage. In the area that I'm in, if a guy is wearing a fragrance, it's either Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel. So I wore it around so many women that I knew, that I didn't know, and not a single one of them asked if I was wearing Sauvage. If something smelled similar to it, people would ask, especially the ones that I know. They'd be like, did you mix something with Sauvage? Are you wearing Sauvage? But this didn't get any of that type of commentary or questions. They would ask me what I was wearing. They would write it down because they wanted their partner to wear it. So I always remember a DM that I received from this guy that told me that he wore this when he went to a club with a bunch of his guy friends. They were all wearing, the typical designer cologne, and he was wearing salt and pepper, right? And then at the end of the night, his guy friends were asking him to put them on the name of the cologne he was wearing because he was the one getting the attention from women in terms of fragrances. They were like, oh, you smell so good. That's so nice. What are you wearing? So they were all flirting with him, and his friends got a little bit jealous with it. So this kryptonite to the feminine nose, absolute kryptonite. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know that it's just like, even for me, I'm addicted to smelling that. It just smells so damn good. All right, next up, we got a beast mode fragrance here, y'all. This Hachibat by Nishane. All right, it's an extrait de parfum. Come on, you know that it's gonna last over a day. Now this gets pretty polarizing reviews from the guys that are subscribed to me. Half of them love it, the other half can't stand it. Now, one thing people agree on is they like the performance and they like the fresh pineapple vibe that it has. But the dry down is what starts to piss people off because it's oak moss, right? Oak moss can either smell really good, or on some people it can smell a bit moldy and people don't like it. Now, based on the responses that I've received from women that have tried this fragrance and sprayed it on themselves and on their partners, the women have loved it. It's probably like a 98% positive rating, right? But with the men, it's 50-50. They're like, oh, it smells moldy. I don't like this. I don't like it. So just keep that in mind. If you don't like oak moss, don't pull for this fragrance. But I will say, this is something I only do one spray of because it's just so nuclear, y'all. For me, it's a bit too intense, so I don't wear it. But I have to put it in this video because I know there's a performance junkie watching this right now, looking for something that's gonna supersede 24 hours. And boom, here it is. You found your fragrance, all right? Now, this is also something you can wear in the cooler months because you know that it's a fresh and clean fragrance that already performs super well. So when you wear it in cold weather, you're easily gonna get over 8 hours with this scent. Extraits are not to be played with, y'all. All right, now, next fragrance, Percival by Parfums de Marly. Take a look at it. I've been talking about this one a lot more recently because I've grown more of an appreciation for it. All right, so Percival is basically Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch grown up. Graduated, got their degree, probably working in business, marketing, or sales, whatever the case is, or finance, you know what I mean? That is what Percival is. Now, this is something that I tell the story all the time, but when I talked to the associate at Nordstrom, she told me that Percival is the most popular Parfums de Marly fragrance on the masculine side that they've been selling whenever there is a girl buying for her boyfriend or there's a couple buying for the guy, right? So this is something that women just love. They approve of it. In fact, dang, I should have put Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch on this list. I'm gonna sneak it in. I don't have the bottle, but Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch for the younger crowd. This for people 20s and up. If you're a teen, rock Fierce. If you're in your 20s and up, rock Percival. All right, it's just that fun, flirty sort of fragrance that, you know, when you guys are like, when you see somebody you're attracted to, you guys are making eyes at each other, flirting subtly, but you haven't gone up to talk to each other yet. It's just kind of a little bit of that, you know, a little bit of that playfulness that comes in with this fragrance. Very refined, high quality. Of course, Parfums de Marly doesn't do it any other way, and very, very likable. Now, at first, didn't get the best performance with it, but as I've tested it more and more, it's gotten better with performance. I can easily say that this passes 6 hours, no problem. And this is my dad's bottle, by the way, because I think the last time I talked about this, somebody said, didn't you give that away? I gave it to my dad. So whenever you see this in videos, know that I asked my dad if I can borrow it for the sake of making this video. And this is his signature scent. It smells fantastic. Really, really good fragrance. All right. Next up, we got another MFK Ominous Homme, and this kind of has like a clean laundry vibe to it. Now, there's a little bit of this stink in just like up close in the opening that's there, but it fades to the background pretty quick. And that's all I have to say about it. Just fresh, clean. You want to smell more laundry-like, a little bit more laundry-like with versatility. It's Ominous Homme. Now this fragrance gets so much shit in the fragrance community, because it's a niche scent with a niche price that is a design. It's like a designer juice in a niche bottle. That's what I've heard people call it. And again, from what I've seen, a lot of people, you know, the argument is, why would I spend a niche price if I can just get a designer scent that will smell similar? And I totally get that logic. But to me, it doesn't like, it has the mass appeal of a designer scent, right? Wherein it's not challenging. It's not taking you on this journey, but the quality of it is of niche quality. It doesn't smell screechy. It doesn't smell sharp. It doesn't smell off-putting. It doesn't smell like good for 2 months and all of a sudden, oh, the quality of the fragrance and the juice starts to just completely die down, you know? So the quality of it remains. I've had this for over a year. I sprayed it recently and it's just getting better with time. So that's just something you have to remember whenever, you know, people say, oh, it's designer juice. It's not bad quality. All right. And I guess something that I'm thinking of right now is when people talk about dupes, right? Let's compare, like whenever they talk about Ominous Homme, they're like designer juice in a niche bottle, right? Kind of like with dupes, it's like, why would I get the original fragrance if this dupe is 90% there? But to me, that extra 10% is what makes the difference. Even though they try to, like, you have a dupe that's trying to emulate the original, that lack of that 10%, that refinement, that quality of it puts me off from the dupe. And that's why I hardly talk about dupes on my page, because I haven't really found one that I really, really, really love. That I'm like, okay, like this one is pretty on par. Of course, it's a dupe, it's made with cheaper ingredients, right? But that's kind of how I feel about that argument with Ominous Homme. Is they're like, oh, I can just get a designer scent that smells like it. And you absolutely can. And don't think I'm shitting on designers, because I love designer fragrances as well. But I love the quality of the scent, which is why it's on this list. If I had L'Homme by YSL, it'd be on this list as well. But I gave that as a gift to somebody. They smell fantastic. 2 more left. I know that this is a long video, y'all, but we do things in one shot. No editing around here, all right? So we got Green Irish Tweed by Creed. Now this is my favorite green fragrance. I know I had that Terence Hughes scent here. Gosh, this smells like springtime. If you're looking for that typical masculine springtime green fragrance, compliment getter, timeless, classy, here it is. I am pretty sure somebody told me, I think one of my subscribers told me that this is worn by a lot of like royalty, higher, like celebrities. People just gravitate to this scent, and it's been popular for decades now. So I have to put it on this list because I know I'm late to the game with it, and I just found out about this like last year. I didn't find out about it. I just tried it for the first time, and I can't even deny that this smells good. I don't think that it's outdated. Like I said, it's a classy, timeless sort of fragrance. If you wear this fragrance, today, no one's gonna say, oh, you like, he smells like a grandpa. Even like there are grandpas that probably wear this, but it doesn't smell like grandpa. There's a very distinct difference between the two, but so good. Like if you like that Irish clean soap, you know, then you're probably gonna like this fragrance right here. And apparently that smell wards away mosquitoes. Apparently. I gotta test that out though, because I'm allergic to mosquitoes. So maybe I'll give this one a shot, you know, spray it around the ankles or something. Lastly, we got my scent of the day, Elysium by Raja Parfums. I actually hope to try the OG Elysium Pour Homme very soon. I hope I get to try it because I would love to make a comparison video and see if I like that one more than this. But look at this, y'all. The juice on this fragrance is already less than 50%. And you better believe that when I'm done with this, I will get another one because I love this scent so much. This smells like a lemon pineapple cocktail fragrance on my skin. The notes though, it's juniper berry, grapefruit. So that's probably what you guys are gonna get on your skin, but a very fun, life of the party type of scent that just boosts your mood. Wear this to lunches, to brunches, when you're hanging out with people. If you're just gonna be in a social setting, throw this fragrance on. I like to wear this also when I work out. I went on a nice stroll earlier this afternoon and it was really hot outside and I could just smell this when the wind was blowing on me. And I'm like, damn, I smell so fire right now. So I'm not gonna talk too much about this because y'all have heard me gush about it time and time again, almost every single month. Can't get enough of this fragrance right here. But yeah, I've used so much of this already, with especially when you compare it to all the bottles that I have in my collection. This one, Salt and Pepper, and Molecula One just are constantly being used every single day. But anyways, again, y'all, discount link for all these fragrances in the comment section below in case you want to try a sample of them, if you want to buy bottles of them. If you live in a country where you can't access the brands, then that's what that discount link is for. You can get it. They're based in New York, so in the United States, you can get it anywhere in the world. You can get these bottles. All right. Anyways, I hope y'all have a great day. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.